Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we're painting up another Beast of Nurgle. This time I'm going to succeed in getting him green, although in the end I don't get him green and white like I originally wanted from the previous one. So he's fully assembled and everything. I mean, it's very simple. The only problem with fine cast is you keep finding little pieces of sprue and things like that everywhere here and there. So I then primed the model with Bright Touch Gray Car Primer. And then here are all the paints that were used. Some were not featured, but they were used on the base. Alright, with Castellan Green, Gray Sear, and White Scar White, we're going to do the pre-coating. With an airbrush, we're going to apply the Castellan Green, then the Gray Sear from up above to create light and dark shadows. And we wanted the Castellan Green for it to be a dark green eventually. And then White Scar White dry brush. Now, because this model is has a lot of finer detail essentially, the dry brushing really picks these things out. Alright, with Anthonian Camo Shade and Lamian Medium, we're going to paint the model. So we're going to take Anthonian Camo Shade and we're going to add a little bit of Lamian Medium into it. The reason is, for some reason the Lamian Medium makes the Anthonian Camo Shade like more even, flows better, flows more evenly over a model. And then we're going to apply this all over the model. And then once it dries, we're going to do a second coat, but with more Lamian Medium and a little bit of water to dilute it further. And so we added a dark layer and then a lighter layer of the Anthonian Camo Shade to add the shadows and stuff. And now with Skeleton Horde Contrast and Lamian Medium, we mix the two together to make it thin, and then we apply it in some places to add color, on the scales on his back, on his hands, partially on his big back slug part, and just areas you want to add just a little bit of color. It's thinned down, so thinner the better, because it's easier to add two thin coats than to add one big one and just mess up. So we want subtle color transition here, or at least I do. It's my model. Now with Guilliman Flesh, Lamian Medium, and in the end I don't use the Anthonian Camo Shade again. So basically what I do is I take Guilliman Flesh and dilute it with Lamian Medium to make it flow better, and also my Guilliman Flesh is very dry, so it actually needs it. So I dilute it down till it's very thin, and then I apply it onto some places to add color, and of course the tentacles up top to make them pink-ish. I apply several layers until I get the correct depth of color I need. And how many layers you need depends on how thick the Guilliman Flesh is. You want it thin enough that the undercoating can show. Alright, now with Guilliman Flesh, Cadian Flesh Tone, and Lamian Medium, we're going to be painting his tongue and I don't know, like this fleshy things between his tusks. So we're going to start off with a layer of Cadian Flesh Tone all over as a good base layer. Then we're going to take Guilliman Flesh diluted with Lamian Medium to make it thinner and apply it all over the flesh we just painted. Then we're going to take a thin brush and we're going to highlight everything, focusing on the raised areas, lines, stuff like that. If you have the bottle, you'll kind of see them. And then you'll repeat the process of applying wash, then rehighlighting, wash, rehighlighting as often as you need. I did it only probably 2 washes and 3 highlights in the end, and it was good enough. Alright, with Steel Legion Draft, Baneblade Brown, and Karak Stone, we're going to paint the nails he has. So first we're going to paint them all with Steel Legion Draft, the dark color base. Then halfway up each of the nails, we're going to paint it with Baneblade Brown. Then we're going to take Karak Stone and we're going to highlight all the way up the their edges of each nail, essentially. And they essentially meet up at the very tip, making a point, and so just add enough lines here and there. It's okay if it's not perfectly straight because it's like a nail, and the model doesn't give you much room for, like, if you make mistakes, is it really a mistake because how the model is? Alright, with Ushabti Bone, Skeleton on Contrast, and Lamian Medium, we're going to paint the tusks he has in his teeth. So basically how it goes like this: Ushabti Bone as a layer, then we apply Skeleton on Contrast diluted with Lamian Medium to make it thinner, then we do highlights with Ushabti Bone, and then we do wash again, highlight, wash as often as you want until you get the right amount. And thinner highlights as you go on, and yeah, and that's pretty much it. Now with Bestigor Flesh and Fugan Orange, we're going to paint the boils. So here's basically what it does. Apply Bestigor Flesh on a boil, apply Fugan Orange afterwards, highlight with Bestigor Flesh, and that's pretty much it. And then once we've done all that, we will just glue him to the base we made. And then with AK Interactive Ultramat Varnish, we just apply this all over the model. And now with Nurgle's Rot and Euro Yellow, we combine the two to make a yellowish rot-like thing. And then I add, so I have it on the palette, and then when I apply it onto the base, it's too thick, so I apply a bunch of water, I scoop a bunch of water and apply it in to make it much thinner so it's very transparent. So I can see the base that I made underneath and the top. The base is just the same stuff I've been doing for my Nurgle army from the very beginning. Then with Liquitex Gloss Varnish, I'm going to apply this all over the base. I dilute it a little bit with water to make it flow better, but I apply it all over the base to make it shine, so the base is shiny. I also apply it on his head tentacles until they shine. And yeah, I also forgot to mention I applied some of the Nurgle's Rot in some places on his body here and there just to add some color. And I mean, he's done. The model doesn't have that much specific detail in itself, so it doesn't really require that much work. I mean, I painted him pretty much in one session. You might be wondering why the video is late, is poor time management and other things came up, but these old models, they just have a certain aesthetic that I just like. Although there's not much depth to them, and there's like the depth and detail is something that you have to create. Now I will point out that while he is green, he's not the sickly white green that I originally envisioned, and I forgot about that until I finished the model. what went into my mind was, okay, this time he's going to be green and not blue like the previous one. And then I forgot I was trying to make him a sickly white with a hint of green. And so here he is. I mean, all the details of his flesh, every little curve, line, and stuff is showing. So this style of painting works really well with this model. But there's also very little you can really do with him. Like, there's not much there. Well, he was fun. Another one to my army. That's my third Beast of Nurgle for my army. And more to come. Next time I'm moving on to a different model. A different model kit from the old Warhammer. So like the video if you like the video, share it if you want to share it, comment if you want to comment, and more to come soon. Bye.